A Nimitz-class carrier packs enough food into its freezers to feed a small city for months, and it still runs out before the deployment does. Nearly 5,000 people seal themselves onto a floating airport made of steel, and for 6 months straight, none of them touch land. Not once. The ship itself can run almost forever. It makes its own drinking water out of seawater and carries its own hospital and post office. The real question was never whether the carrier could survive out there. It's whether the people on it can. Picture a 19-year-old airman, 3 weeks out of boot camp, climbing into a rack stacked 3 high in a room with 60 other guys. 18 inches of clearance, maybe less, just enough to roll over if he doesn't take a deep breath first. There's a curtain for privacy and an outlet for his phone. No door to walk out of, though, not for 6 months. He learns to sleep through jet noise within a week. Everybody does. The rack is the easy part. Where it starts to bite is the food. Early on, the galley runs like a buffet. Fresh vegetables, real eggs, ice cream every night. Then the fresh stuff runs out, because nothing's coming in but what gets flown or hauled aboard from a supply ship, and that doesn't happen every week. By month 3, the eggs are powdered, and dinner starts repeating itself. Water's the same story. The ship distills its own by the thousands of gallons, but showers get rationed hard. Sailors call it the Navy shower. Water on, get wet, water off, soap up, water on just long enough to rinse. In a berthing of 60 men sharing 4 shower heads, you learn to be fast. That's the ship handling its own survival. The people are a different question, and it's the one still open. Underneath all of it is the noise. Arresting cables snap taut hard enough to stop a jet weighing close to 40,000 pounds in about 2 seconds, and you feel it in your rack before you hear it. Down in spaces with no windows, sailors can go weeks without seeing daylight, because the lights burn around the clock for whoever's on shift. After a while, your body stops trusting the clock on the wall. That's when the flight deck danger stops being an abstraction. Jet blast that can throw a man into the water. Intakes that will pull in a loose sleeve or a tool or a person if somebody gets careless. Deck crews wear color-coded jerseys, purple for fuel, red for ordnance, so pilots can spot them at a glance. Still no door to walk out of. Just discipline, every single time. You'd think that's the thing that wears crews down. It isn't. What actually breaks people, more than the noise or the danger, is the sameness. Ask anyone who's finished a full deployment which month was hardest, and it's rarely the first. It's around month 4, when every meal's been eaten twice, when the same jokes stop landing, when there's still no door to walk out of and 6 weeks left to go, so the Navy builds in the strange, gentle stuff on purpose. Steel beach picnics, where the flight deck shuts down for an afternoon and sailors play volleyball on the same runway a jet launched from that morning. Movie nights on a bulkhead. A karaoke night somebody takes way too seriously. On a ship where the scenery never changes, that afternoon is the difference between a crew that holds together and one that doesn't. Then, without much warning, General Quarters sounds. Hatches slam shut, and the picnic version of the ship disappears. Within minutes, the same 5,000 people who were eating hot dogs are at battle stations. The ship survived the 6 months. It always does. The people made that possible. One rack, one shower, one steel beach afternoon at a time. So when that carrier finally pulls back into port and the brow drops onto the pier, and 5,000 people who haven't stood on solid ground in half a year walk down it, the question worth sitting with isn't whether they made it. It's what 6 months with no door to walk out of actually costs a person, and whether anyone who hasn't lived it could really understand what they're walking back into. If a story like this is worth your time, there's another one on this channel about what happens when that same ship goes to war footing for real.